Well, Town's FA Cup journey is over for another year, but Stuart Watson, they certainly exit this year with their heads held high.
Absolutely. For the second game in a row, they have matched the Championship leaders. In the end, it went all the way down past 180 minutes before Burnley could land the killer blow in stoppage time of this game. But we'll go right back to the very start, because that was an incredible start to a football match, wasn't it? 2 goals inside the opening 3 minutes? 4 minutes?
Yeah, 2 goals inside the opening 3 minutes. And when the first one went in, be honest with me, did you think that was a wrap?
Yes.
Because I did. 43 seconds on the clock, and Town have been pulled over to the right-hand side, opened up, and it's 1-0 to Burnley. 43 seconds.
Proper slick goal, that.
Slick, yep. And you're thinking, okay. They got the job done at Portman Road, 0-0, secured the replay, but this could be quite a long night. But thankfully, it wasn't. And within 2 minutes, Town were level. And from that point on, the first half was really entertaining, proper ding-dong stuff. So, yeah. I enjoyed that.
I had fears going into this that Ipswich should miss their opportunity at Portman Road, that Burnley on their own turf, with the prospect of another League One side to come in the next round, were going to raise their levels, and this would be a comfortable win. And when they scored with 40-odd seconds on the clock, I think we both thought, and I would have thought probably a lot of those Town fans that witnessed that goal right in front of them probably thought this could be a long evening. But Ipswich hit back straight away. Really good work by Shawnee Aluku. Through ball, Caden Jackson darts away, squares it. George Hurst bundles in his first goal for the club, and it's 1-1. And I'll be honest, Burnley looked rattled by that for the next 5 or so minutes.
Yeah.
They were all over the place, and Ipswich came at them 2-3 times, didn't they?
They didn't enjoy that one bit. And Caden Jackson, just like he was in the first game, a real threat in attack for Town. The ball over the top, they were looking for that. They had a few goes down the left as well. Greg Lee put across through the box, but Town went for it. The goal was lovely. Like, I really want to see a lot of what Aluko did tonight again. But the way he just gets the ball in such tight areas, turns out of trouble, and the through ball for Jackson to set him away was great. We've talked about Jackson improving his crossing, another example of that, and great for Hurst to get on the mark, isn't it? Because we need to see him up and running, scoring goals along with Ladapo. So to see him scoring one, that's the real positives from tonight. But there were a lot of them. Town did a really good job in this game. I really enjoyed watching this game.
Everything that they weren't against Cambridge. This is a different team. Only 2 of the team that started at Cambridge on Saturday started in this one. That was George Edmondson and Sam Morsey. But everything that team wasn't at the Abbey on Saturday was in evidence here tonight.
We've been moved on. We are back. Stuart Watson, what was in evidence tonight that was not in evidence at the Abbey Stadium at the weekend?
Just a bit of aggression and fight, and a bit of bravery and courage, and not just in a physical sense, but just they just looked up for it. They just looked more focused. It was all just so passive at Cambridge, wasn't it? And this one, probably because of the nature of the opposition, and they're a bit more wary that they've got to be bang on it with their levels. Maybe it's a bit of reaction, even though it's a different group of players by and large from the weekend. But a much better performance on so many levels, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think that started from the front as well. Not Hurst scored, obviously, but he worked so hard up front. I think the strikers have done that in general this season. I think they've got 2 strikers now that can work to that level and give them a real platform to play from. I've really enjoyed watching George Hurst tonight. He had to fight a bit, try and battle to bring some balls under control, but did a good job of that. Caden Jackson did it again. From that position as well. Aluko's twinkle toes was a highlight. There's one moment which I really hope people can see. I know not many people have been able to watch this game, but there's one little moment, isn't there, that we really want to see again from Aluko. Yeah,
highlight-worthy moment, tight to the right-hand touchline. He mugs off about 3 players with some twinkle-toed footwork, which the away fans enjoyed. Jackson's pace and work rate out on the right, again, much like the first game, was a highlight tonight. Greg Lee again looked like a powerful runner up the left, good in the air as well. So Yeah, I think there's a few players in there that have probably given McKenna a bit of food for thought ahead of Saturday's game against Sheffield Wednesday.
Jackson, could he be one of them? Could Greg Lee be one of those? I don't think Kieran McKenna can really have a clear idea of who would be the better starter out of Ladapo and Hurst. Both of them are going to go into this one with some good feeling behind them. Both scored goals in their last starts going into the Sheffield Wednesday game. The midfield was interesting tonight, wasn't it? We're down to two midfielders tonight. Sam Morsey and Cam Humphreys both did well. I thought they battled away throughout, and their tanks were completely empty because there was no substitute on the bench. Lee Evans back home with a knock. Massimo Luongo now with a knock too. So that's an interesting one, but they worked really hard in there as well. It was a really difficult midfield night, but Morsey seemed to land on so many loose balls, and Humphreys, McKenna's praised his bravery just for playing, just for trying to play in tight areas as a 19-year-old boy. We expect it from him now, don't we? We don't expect him to be overawed by occasions, because he just isn't and hasn't ever been.
Yeah, absolutely. Wes Burns is another injury absentee tonight, so him, Evans and Luongo all missing out. They will be assessed during the week, says McKenna, but if Caden Jackson or Cameron Humphreys are required on Saturday, you wouldn't be too worried about that, given their performances of late. We haven't really talked about the winner, actually, the goal that actually put Ipswich Town out at the death. I'd like to see it again, but my instinct was it was a foul. Ashley Barnes had just come off the bench because of Lyle Foster, their new £8 million man, went off with cramp, says Vincent Company, and on came Ashley Barnes, who's a bit of an experienced campaigner, and he showed all that experience when battling with Luke Wolfenden for a long ball. I thought he threw an arm out a little bit. Do you want your centre-half to be a bit stronger? Probably, but for me it was still a foul. And then the ball runs through to Nathan Teller, who he's a very good footballer, and that was a very good finish, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. In a strange way, I almost think that was kind of the way for this one to end, because I don't know how much more Ipswich had to give, and it would have been a long old slog for the rest of the game, which you never know. But it was trending one way, wasn't it? But FA Cup in general has just had a bit of life for Ipswich Town this year. It was a dead competition for this club. Nothing happened in it. It was a graveyard that added to frustrations years and years in the making. But this year it's had some little twinkles in the eye along the way, some sparkle, some fun days out, and a reminder that it can actually be really quite good for you.
Yeah, absolutely. In the words of Mick McCarthy, they were goosed at the end of that game, and I'm not sure quite what the game plan was at the end, because there was a bit of time wasting from Halagki and going down for some injuries, and I think they almost forgot that they still had to play another 30 minutes if they had to get it to full time. So yes, a bit of controversy over the nature of that late goal, but I think there probably would have only been one winner in those extra 30 minutes, and that's an extra 30 minutes they could have done without, ahead of what is a massive game against Sheffield Wednesday, who also went out of the FA Cup tonight with a much changed side against Fleetwood tonight. So, it'll be two very different teams that face off at Portman Road on Saturday. Looking forward to it.